Hello and welcome to Casting Rolls. We're a bunch of theater nerds and good friends playing a little D&D. We're so happy that you joined us for another episode of Dungeons and Downtime, where we like to talk about the show so far. And this one is our Arc 1 wrap-up conversation. So we've got some questions from audience members, but also just us shooting the shit. So if you've liked the show, please like and subscribe. You can find all of our great content here, and we post every Friday on YouTube. But let's go ahead and start the show. So, Arc 1 is ending. How do we feel so far?
This is great. I'm loving this.
After that finale, I feel some kind of way about you, but that's okay.
Some kind of way.
I saw that.
About that.
I knew there was going to be some capitalist twist, like coming down hard. Like he was talking about the Merchants Guild and all that stuff. I was like, oh, we're gonna have the big bad be just some fucking dweeb in a suit, like the East India Company guy from the third Pirates movie.
What do you mean that this story is about us discovering a new world that people definitely already live in and have established lives, and it's about capitalism? What do you mean? That's crazy.
Well, capitalism is the bad guy.
Thank you, Brennan.
Capitalism is always the bad guy.
It always is.
I think it's one thing that's fun for me, particularly here at the end, is, you know, every campaign when you're playing with new characters, it takes a little while to kind of, for you to figure out who you're playing and who they are, and then how everybody interacts. And I think we've hit that over the last 4 or 5 episodes, where it's all kind of dropped into place. So I know I'm not having to think about what would my character do. I'm just able to listen and react.
Hello and welcome to Casting Rolls. We're a bunch of theater nerds. Whoop.
I think that's true.
I just accidentally played a video.
I wondered what that was.
I was trying to find out where we were at this point in campaign 1, but I accidentally played a video instead of just looking at a playlist. So,
what part were you at? Did you figure it out?
No, I will figure it out while you guys are talking.
Okay.
I think we were in at the Rift. Close to there. When Jury.
I think it was right after Jury joined.
That sounds right.
Jury time.
But it's that same type thing where it just kind of, I think, particularly with us playing the other character in their backflash scenes, and people having admitted stuff after Andula Sight's reveal, that those things have kind of jumped us forward to a good place.
The cool thing the flashback scenes did that I'm curious how much of this was intentional on your part, Josh, was really hold a mirror up to the player as to how the group perceives this character by allowing someone else to give their spin and their interpretation on it. Now, granted, it is that interpretation of that person playing the character, but at the same time, it was like, okay, what are like the 3 big notes that my character hits?
Yeah.
Like what does everybody perceive my character to be? So I thought that was really interesting.
Well, and it was also like,
I learned one thing about Josh in just doing this with him for however many years now. If you ask Josh, was this intentional? Yes. It is. Josh is playing 4D chess, and we are barely in 2D animation.
It's that, or he's smart enough to take credit for something that we can't prove he didn't do.
He's just very smart.
Well, this one was definitely like, because it was a crapshoot who you would get. And so I definitely had some in my head where I was like, God, I would really love, for instance, if Ace had gotten lucky That would have been
No.
the best because
I would have
because then Ace would have to play Andalus meeting Yorian. And we'll see how much Ace's hatred of Yorian came out.
I was
in
going to
that.
say how in character I could stay, which
Wow.
I don't know, because it's difficult for me. I see that evil twink and I want it obliterated.
Well, the thing I won't
was.
take credit for the metacognitive element that you highlight Atwood there, but the thing that about it was is I think it was something that like I would never have done with a new group of players, but I knew that you guys trusted each other well enough to be in that kind of situation, and so it really speaks to how good you all play together that I felt comfortable putting you guys in a place where you're playing someone else.
Yeah, for sure.
With the combinations being random.
muted Ronnie.
Oh no, he's not on. You muted Ronnie because of the TikTok video,
Oh, I heard him.
but he's not muted for
sorry.
us.
Never mind.
Can
You were
hear me?
saying?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
I said with the combinations being random, were there any that you wanted to see or would have preferred to see or liked to see?
So
Besides you mentioning Duelist Sight and
I think Ace getting lucky would have been great. Although I think Ravik getting lucky was fantastic. So
Yeah.
I think Kieran getting Ravik was outstanding because like Kieran comes from like a negotiating business type background, and it was almost like Ravik was going into a negotiation, or at least Kieran thought he was, even though Ravik had no intention of negotiating. No, I think it was, I was excited to see any way that permutation came out. Otherwise it wouldn't have been random. I would have just kind of placed it whatever, but I left it up to a roll of the die because all of you are good and they all would have been interesting.
Yeah, I'm glad that I didn't get Kieran because he has such like hero worship for him right now, and I want that to like continue a little further, and that would have like interrupted that flow too much. So because that he would have learned some things that he would not like. So I'm enjoying that it's spaced out further, and that he wasn't in the group when you were talking about your stuff.
Yeah.
So it's I think it's gonna prolong that relationship they have, which is fun to me.
I think Lucky getting Kieran was really interesting because Lucky's like moral code is, and then being placed in the situation where you had to deal with Kieran's dad was really cool. And Bonnie getting Andalus is outstanding because Bonnie, I don't know if understands the world at all, and then was put in a position where Bonnie has to now understand not only like what the fuck is happening with Corvinus, but also with Andalus. So I think it was
Atwood's
liked all
moment
of
of
it.
his child showed up. I know what to do with this.
Finally, a child.
Oh, thank God. Which was such a great contrast to Enduosite being asked to do things. Enduosite is like, Enduos doesn't eat food, like, and Enduos doesn't know how to hand sign, and Enduos doesn't know how to take care of children.
Yeah.
Never has family, to his knowledge, no children, like no normal upbringing.
Oh, this is a nightmare.
But I like that his reaction is like, I have to snoop and find out something about her.
Yeah.
An ace character consistent.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
true. If you let my character snoop, they're gonna snoop. Look, I go to the doctor's office, I want to look through all the drawers. It's just something that's innate. And I gotta make sure they're not gonna kill me. So
Is that a threat? Is that a thing that happens?
that's what I do. I go through all the drawers. I mean, I don't know. I've never found anything, but just in case.
That one time you do, you'll be justified.
I'm like, there's an axe in here. He's actually an axe murderer. Can you imagine? But yeah, it was really fun. Especially, well, it was funny too because I was like, oh my god, I'm on a death clock, and then I was like, ooh, this is very fun, and I like completely forgot about it for like the whole time. And I was like, oh my god, I forgot. Oh, I'm dying. My bad. I was having so much fun. I was like, what time is it? You wake up past your alarm and you're like, oh god.
That the alarm is death itself. So
That's true. You won't hear the good news is that Andalus wouldn't have heard the alarm. So, like,
That's true. That's true.
So you've gotten a little taste of the problems that are facing the world right now, both from outside and from within. Anarvir and Illyria and Highwall, where you are. What kind of things are you looking into going forward into Arc 2 that are really hitting your character of like, that's something I want to investigate more or put some energy into? Because you still have your roles as members of the expedition, but you guys get to have a lot of control about where that party goes and who they interact with.
Well, it's not specific to my character, but I'm really interested in this whole what was it, Frost Prince?
The Prince of Frost? Yeah.
Yes, this whole Fey realm incursion that's happening. It's not specific to Ravik, but I'm interested to see how that's gonna play out and what are the details of that. Whatever came out of that portal, we never figured that out, right?
Oh, the portal. Nope, you didn't. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm curious about Mr. Snow Miser, and I'm also like,
I have to put a picture of Snow Miser up because I don't know if anybody gets the reference.
They don't do. No, they do. They do.
Watched it on
Okay, good.
TV. When you
Josh, they trended on TikTok. They had a whole makeup thing for
Okay,
it.
okay, perfect. Okay,
The kids know.
I feel good.
Yes, no.
I'm 30 and I still know.
Okay.
But and we may have answered this question. What grabbed Dottie that night in the Leonid camp?
Oh,
Like-
that was well, you don't know what it was. Andalus knows what it was.
Yeah,
It was that mountain lion that spoke to
Yeah.
Andalus. That grabbed Dottie and carried them back to safety.
Okay,
Yep. Oh, we know. I'm well aware. And speaking of, I'm excited to go see our witch friend.
The heart and the dagger.
The love witch.
The love witch. The love hate
and
witch.
hate witch.
Yeah.
the
Hot and cold.
love with
What is love if not hate?
That's
That's
her
true,
thing.
yeah.
She's
Dumb question.
We'll get into her thing, but
Yeah.
both extremes.
I literally was about to say Roddy would understand the reference that she's like a star sapphire. So that's, yeah.
Yes, I get it too.
Because I'm a comic book nerd.
Yep.
Okay.
That's that. I love you.
No, yeah, Thalindra,
Thalindra.
the heart and the dagger. I'm definitely excited for you guys to see the witches and how the witches work
Yeah,
in
that's
the realm.
I forgot about. I was really excited. I wrote down like all their little names and their little domains that they were over. I'm excited about that.
Because we had a
I'm not-
taste of witch in my session 0, and then we
Yeah.
haven't
Because
had too much until this last.
Yeah, we did have that.
That's right.
that
Like
fight with witch.
Kieran and Bonnie missed out on that, but they did run into not a familiar of one of the witches, but like part of one of the witches' like retinue or court.
Not me though.
No.
Angela said, "Can I talk to this woman in private?" And Ravi said, "No." And I said, "Okay."
I have a clear favorite. It's you by a lot.
I said, if it needs to be brought to my attention, then you do that. See ya.
Yeah. As far as expedition goes,
That's faith.
yeah. As far as expedition goes, the only other like you guys had two challenges as expedition. One was to figure out what was the problem with the shooting down ships, and in that. And the other thing was to reconnect with the Caldfiel dwarven thing, because the dwarves of Illyria have sent the expedition to kind of reconnect with their lost homeland. But other than that, the whole continent's open for you, and there's a lot of problems.
I want to go to that city that they kept talking about, like early on. I think it's like the dwarven.
Yeah, Caldfiel.
area.
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, I really want to go there. That sounds cool. I want to follow up with whatever was not that woman that we met. I can't remember her name from that
Vera.
Oh, yeah,
person
the-
group.
Yeah.
The
It was like
changeling.
not her. Yeah, the little
Yeah.
changeling. I would
Yeah.
love to. I would love to. I'd love to talk to that thing because I think I legitimately bonded with it.
Yeah.
So I could be its friend. I could fix them.
We gotta stop it from
camp
reaching
right
the
now.
camp. Did we sent word back though, right? Of like, hey, if sheep shows
Keep
up,
an eye out.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, we did.
That was one of the two. Like, I think the first sending that you guys did was, hey, we found somebody that they might be coming your way. And then the second sending was, hey, that person we told you about is actually not who we think they are. So
Hilarious.
and it's sending, is that lucky or that's Andula sites?
We had a sending stone with 3
Yeah.
charges
Lucky
that would
has
connect
the-
back to camp.
Yeah.
although
We have a card.
Lucky now has access to the sending spell.
Yeah, I got it now.
Yep.
But like it's in very much reserve
Mm-hmm.
until I get more spell slots here. So
Gosh, remember phone cards, gang? Remember phone cards?
I feel like that's what the sending spell is, just a collect call card.
Yeah.
Like,
I love, do you want me to answer? and make
After
you feel
9.
bad?
yeah, you don't want me to answer that
want us
question,
to
do you?
answer?
I know your answer, Jace.
That's not my answer.
people don't
It's
remember
not even
calling
mine.
collect to home and just being like, it's like, who's calling? Mom, I'm ready to be picked up. And your mom goes, no, I don't accept the charges, and then leaves to go pick you up. So, like,
At the skating rink, come pick me up.
Yep.
There was a whole ad. It was Bob. He had a baby. It's a boy.
yeah, the baby, it's a boy. Yep.
I'm getting
What the fuck are we talking about?
Oh,
Anyway,
oh,
And then there's
that
the
baby.
world seed.
Boy.
the world
thing
seed.
to
Yep.
heal.
Yep.
Yep.
But
Yes.
I kind of want to do something else and then loop back to it since we've kind of been down that track. Let's
Yeah.
gotta
Me-
be on that
me-
ski one day.
being the master of side quests and the completionist in all RPGs must divert off the main path to go find something else
Level up.
interesting over here before coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, level up a little bit and then go back to the.
And Lucky was put in charge of like the scouting mission stuff, and so I will be sending Lucky, because you guys built that up first. They scouted the vicinity around Mount Makata, and there are 3
You sent
like
me that a while ago.
I did. I'll send it to you again.
Please.
There's 3 like points of interest that they discovered that could be like side quest content.
Yeah, I literally I remember reading it and going like, 1 side quest, 2 side quests.
Yeah. And they did keep mentioning whatever the Wandering Gnomes is a group that you haven't encountered yet. There, and also there's an organization called the Children of the Moon that was briefly mentioned, that specifically like they're kind of in that vicinity as well. So there's some things that you could potentially encounter or
Oh my god, are there cool werewolves here? Oh my god.
Oh my
This Lucky has no regard for that. But I do.
It's gonna be interesting fighting off werewolves.
Maybe they're good guys.
It was just trying to fight them. What if they're cool?
I just don't think that
What if they run around with their shirt off and are like really good at
generation. shirtless werewolves.
This is Abel talking. This
Shirtless
is Abel propaganda.
Yeah, it's the same.
Because he knows
Ravik-
all the werewolves are lesbians.
Yeah, Ravik. Like we have one night with
No,
the werewolves, and Ravik is now a werewolf, guys. So-
I did not
No.
specify a
Werewolf
gender.
Robin
They
is
could
all
very. Those could have been like rugby werewolves.
Look, the only werewolves we saw in the campaign were lesbians.
Canonically, most
true.
of the werewolves we met were lesbians.
That's true, yeah.
Because that's how I wrote my backstory.
I think there was only
All
like
vampires bros.
There was one
That's true.
man.
Oh,
and
don't
it was
fight each
conviction.
other.
That's
it
it.
makes them all gay men.
all the vampires.
It makes them all that one movie, Bros,
yep.
Happy Pride Month.
which is terrible.
Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride
Happy
Month.
Pride. Happy Pride. Happy Pride.
What was the question? Did
Pride.
we finish answering the question?
I was just what,
Yeah,
what are
there's
you
things we're
looking
interested in.
forward to in the world coming up?
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right.
Let's see what else. What else? There's some good little lines in the water.
We've already said it, but I really do want to mess around with the Feywild more. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm scared. You just put a huge ship in the sky, and I'm like,
And
I'm not
did I
ready for
say
shit.
to,
I'm
like,
scared.
I can't remember if I said this to like two specific people or if I said this to the group as a whole, and if I should say it of like the theory that I sniped from a mile away about like the Frost Prince's backstory.
Oh yeah. I think you and I think it was just me and you and Ace. We're talking after a show.
Oh, okay. So can I tell them now that we're after, like?
Well, I would say like it's probably something that if you guys interact with the Frost Prince, it may come out in the story, but also like none of you have a personal connection to that backstory, so it doesn't mean anything. So I think ruining it doesn't matter.
So remember how the Frost Prince was like, there's the like this, like when we first heard the story, it was told to us like, oh, like he had a love in the other side,
the summer court,
and the summer court, and they loved each other, and like something happened, and like she got pulled away, whatever. And it sounded like it was like, oh, things like fell apart, but then it was like, no, she was really fickle and she just kind of bailed. And the second, like, I don't remember what the exact word was used, but it was something like fickle, and I went, Jury's mom. And I was right.
Yep.
I sniped that from a mile away. That it was Jury's mom fucking bailing to the human, because she just was like, got bored of him and then bailed to the human world.
Yep. 100%.
Hilarious.
And now she's back. And now but think about it, now she's back.
She's back in the Feywild,
on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
She's back and in the summer court.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Yikes.
It is
so
a
is he
thing,
doing
though,
these
Josh.
things because she's rejected him?
Well,
because she's still back in the Feywild.
So like they were lovers and he was courting her, and she played his emotions, and then she ran away to the mortal plane to escape from him, because he was like, to her, he was like, he glommed on too much. He was too clingy. And so when that happened, instead of seeking therapy, as Atwood always points out, instead he just became the Prince of all Frost and became part of the Unseelie court as a result. But now she's back. Yeah. But whether he knows she's back or not, we don't know. But yeah.
But
am I the asshole if when my girlfriend rejected me, I became the Prince of all Frost?
Yeah.
and I'm trying to kill her entire court.
Look, we know he knows. There is so much gossip in the fucking
Oh, for sure.
He
Yeah.
doesn't know.
Yeah.
You gotta know. And she's Titania's fucking handmaiden.
She is. Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
she's
that
still
was part of it too.
Yeah.
Was connecting it. Yeah.
So I mean, she's an arch-fae.
She's not some nobody.
No. Yeah.
You were saying that, Wood?
Cool.
Oh, I was doing the that one song.
He was singing.
Somebody that you used. Somebody
That you used to know. Yeah.
But yeah, like Josh has this habit of being, and it's not a bad critique at all, but it's just so funny to me when it occurs, is having him go, all right, everybody, the Death Star is now hovering above all these new friends that you made. Would you like to go play in the sand?
He knows we like to play in the sand, and the sand is important.
True.
But also from your perspectives, I mean, however you feel about realizing that the expedition was partially used to open up not just an exploratory front, but a potentially military front. Because you were used for that.
Also, I don't think two of you can comment on that. My character doesn't know that, but I think two of you specifically can't be like, oh, capitalism bad. So I want to hear
That's
it.
true.
From specific players or
Ace and Ravik, or Andalus and Ravik, yeah.
You.
Well, look,
Yeah, you're the one who actually buried it.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't know what you're talking about.
But you did tell Indira
I
about
told her,
it. So.
and she knew.
And you guys got some kind of support now. You've got I like to give you a wizard on your side. I think I did the same with
big wizard.
Yeah, a big wizard.
A big hot lesbian wizard.
Yeah, 100%.
Fraught with emotion.
A MILF lesbian wizard.
But you also have Spectre now back at the camp,
Oh,
which
we have Spectre.
I can't wait for you to
can
introduce
identify.
Spectre to Shara.
And Enigma.
And Enigma. You've got Enigma too.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
get fucking like replaced by him. She's gonna be like my new best friend.
Spectre. Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if you poured like 6 bags of ether dust into the engine compartment of the base of the Death Star. See what it would overload.
Oh god.
Or
all
you create AI superpower god.
That's true.
And everything goes actually very bad.
It's got runes all over it. I don't think we should fuck with that.
Yeah, runes, divination and conjuration runes.
Yeah, it's made of magic. I feel like that works against us very bad.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to kill it like the end of Fern Gully. We're gonna have to fly like a seed in there and like help it grow and
Yeah.
shit.
Oh, I like.
Well,
that,
and
yeah.
you have a like
You need
a.
to freeze the 4 air elementals that keep it in the air.
That's true.
We're gonna put a tree in Tim Curry's head, gang.
And I purposely didn't have you do the like after action report or whatever with Remy before you saw the foresight,
Yeah.
because now you have some choices to make about like.
Well, and Remy was the one who called them.
Yeah. Well, and they and for mechanics reasons, when the teleportation broke down, Shara sent a rock from Mount
Yes.
Makta to
Oh yes.
so that they could exactly teleport to this
I
location.
very saw that shit, Josh.
Yeah.
I very saw that,
Mhm.
and I still am not feeling good about it at all. And not that my best friend did it either. Not happy with any of that, Josh.
Yeah. Well, whether Shara knows what she was doing or not, she was following orders. So
I know.
Hey, we're like all like we're not like we're not against them right now. They're like on our team.
they are.
Like
You guys are
I'm not against
immediately
Shara.
jumping to this
Yeah,
is bad.
it's the players are
There's like a
suspicious.
huge crazy capitalism ship comes out and a fucking cult member steps off of it. What do you mean I'm jumping
A
to
cult
conclusions?
member? She's not a cult member. You guys have greatly underestimated Simona Ling's like what she's all about.
There was a Star Speaker, and that's definitely what Ace is talking about.
Oh, so sorry. So Star Speaker is a title, right? Of that particular the Archon of Divination is known as the Star Speaker, not to be confused with the Star Speakers, and that's a mistake on my behalf.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
Josh, you can understand why we all freaked the fuck
No,
out of you, though, right?
Yeah.
And we all went, "Hey, how do they have that much power now?" Like,
No, and
Star Speaker versus Star Seeker.
I think she's Star Seeker. Yeah, she's Star Seeker. That's my fault.
and they're the Star Speakers.
They're the Star Speakers. That's because she's a divination
marketing
master.
problem.
That's a problem. Yeah.
Let me put a little squiggle.
No, it's realistic. They would do that in the world, and we would also fuck it up too.
Fine, I'll put a little squiggle here and replace it with a bunch of high-powered fucking freaks
Yeah.
who we cannot punch in the face came off.
Yeah, you have two archons.
Very scary.
You have two archons, and you have the second most powerful leader in the Hall of Voices. So Hall of Voices is a parliamentary
The head of
system,
the apostates.
and so like the leading house or whatever has like the prime minister in the Hall of Voices, but whoever has the second highest becomes like the shadow minister who leads like the opposition to the leadership, and so that's who Simona Ling is. So you've got and she is the apostate leader. So
Why are they here?
why is she here?
like it.
Yeah.
I don't
Why
like
they
it.
gotta be in
God.
shadow?
Why are they all here? I don't like it.
Well, don't like
Yeah.
they send senators.
This
off
is what
on
happens when you're.
missions.
This is what happens when your congressmen go on vacations.
That's true.
Yes. Yes.
Go to Russia.
This is what
and
happens
fly
when they break for 90% of the year.
They're on a jaunt.
They're on a jaunt. All right. Well, we've got some questions from Brandon, who is a longtime viewer, and they're not specific to individuals. But if I ask and you have an answer, awesome, you can throw in. But not everyone has to answer every question if you don't want to. I think the first one is like, what's some of your favorite moments from the campaign so far? So if you just want to go around and be like, oh, like this was one of my favorite moments that we've had, you can do that, or some of you can tackle it.
The shellfish allergy, like hands down.
that's so
Like,
stupid.
like as soon as I heard roll for it, I knew what was about to happen. Like there wasn't a doubt in
I
my
would saw
mind.
3 seconds into the future.
Well, it was because like 20 minutes earlier we were joking about rolling,
rolling
and then
is what happened. I
and then it
said
actually
roll.
came up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
You go.
Dottie not missing during that one combat when none of us could hit anything.
I don't think Dottie's missed yet.
Oh yeah.
I love that she has
Mark's
a role
in
for
that.
her to join, which I still think is very funny. Doesn't always like to fight. But sometimes she will.
Dottie being the equivalent of the mysterious stranger Fallout 3 perk for the party has been like the funniest thing ever.
Don't know what that means, but I support you.
I'm with you.
Yeah, we got it.
I love it.
Yeah, no, I love Dottie's been great. I love Dottie.
Yeah, when I was spying on you two when you were in the bath, we're coming out of the bath, Dottie's just there, and you're like, Angelus, like, please. Just a little nosy, you know?
Yeah.
What's happening?
I really liked snorting aether dust and then everything that preceded. I really liked that. I think that's really fun, and that I've been given no reason to think that that is not a good thing to do.
No, you haven't
there has been nothing presented to Lucky to suggest that he should not do that again.
First taste is free.
Exactly, but like, you know, I got high wisdom, low intelligence, baby. Like, that's not.
I liked Kieran's like last stance when we were like underground in the little, what was it? We were, all the magic users were basically just like, oh, you're gonna be useless here.
Oh yeah.
And Kieran just like, all right,
power through.
I'll take care.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, in the
I
library.
will show the power of the stick.
Exactly.
I like the bit
Let's
where
just go down the line.
yes. I like the
I
bit where me
cast
and
whack.
Ravik. I like the bit where me and Ravik were on watch together, and he finally told me about some of his stuff, and he just held your little hand because he didn't know what to do.
Oh,
Yes. And
emotions
then also,
are foreign to me. I
was just like, it was really interesting you chose him to like open to it, that he's just like, okay. But then we still have conflict a lot, which is fun. It feels like early Jury, early Abel, which is fun to me.
I think Andulicite's like the younger brother that Robert's like, all right, I'll look out for you. But
It's really
also,
funny.
like, I'm not gonna hold your hand while we run through this, but come on, stick with me. I'll look out for you, kind of.
And then he's like, I am looking out for him. I have to make sure he is okay.
Next, go ahead. Yeah,
Likes to look out for the little guy. Without admitting
This is at a meta level. I'm enjoying the voices everyone's putting on because they're so different from last campaign.
Yeah.
It is very clear also when Jace is speaking versus when Lucky is speaking, or Ronnie is speaking versus Ravik. It's and Bonnie just being, oh gosh darn.
Yeah.
It's our own episode of Fargo over here. Right?
I mean, she kind of is that police chief.
Yeah.
Like,
Fleeing the scene.
yeah.
Get that?
Right. What changes have your characters gone through, be it choices or character development, that you didn't expect?
Oh man,
So
I
many.
think Robert's had to get a little serious sometimes. He's lived so much of his life just like, I'm living free and wild on this ship, and I can go where I want and see who I want. And now he's had to be a little bit serious at times, which has sort of pushed him to grow a little bit with his crew here. I kind of like that.
I made Bonnie with the idea of like her being group mom, and it's not that that's not the case, but she's definitely more of a team player than I thought she was going to end up being. Like,
Well, it's funny because everyone has like mommy issues. Like everyone has family issues. Like so they don't immediately warm to her, which is interesting.
I think with Lucky, I guess I didn't expect to respond to God, what is
The
this
space
thing? I can't
between the
remember
stars.
anything right now. Yeah, space between the stars. The way that I kind of have been with him is that I don't know. Like I expected that to be more of a like, no, I'm not going to do that, instead of being like, new best friends. Hello, my friends, my best friends.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where that goes. I miss him.
Yeah,
I
because
miss him so much.
He still turned his attention away from you to investigate the Eidolons.
Immediately I was like, and when you said like, oh, you can feel like the attention shift away, I was like, no. My worst nightmare. No.
Something that's happened that was semi-planned but has happened organically through interaction is Kieran with his family, where it's very siloed and there's a distance, to go from that to integrating with the group, where he's going to be, I'm the solo warrior, but still being able to do that within the group context. So the steps, I knew overall that's where I wanted to get, but it's not been a forced thing. It's, oh, okay, this came out in conversation, and okay, this situation happened. So that's been fun, a fun trip for me to go on. To get where Rob, the player, wanted to go, but not doing it arbitrarily or forcing it, or, oh, hey, now I'm going to share my backstory. It came out in the right way.
Yeah. I think everybody went.
No, I did.
Andalus didn't go. Sorry, yeah.
He just has a temper. That's all I was gonna say. It's very funny because it's not that I didn't want him to be emotional, because I'm trying to actually actively move away from the unemotional robot stereotype. He's trying to not be any of the robot stereotypes you see, because I like to make characters against type. Yeah. As you can guess, but as you all know, but yeah. So he's become very more emotional, and specifically where Jury was kind of like a crybaby and Dulicite's kind of like a temper tantrum. Yeah. Like he gets mad really fast, and he doesn't have the self-conservation that Jury had. So it's very fun for me.
Nice.
There you go.
Speaking of, as Rob mentioned the voices a minute ago, what inspired the voices that you chose for your characters?
Mars sounded very serious and grounded, and was a very grounded character, and I wanted a character that sounded literally just vocally sounded less tethered to the material plane. Yeah. So I like his voice is really airy.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
There's a direct line to Lily Tomlin and Meryl Streep in the Prairie Home Companion movie.
Why did the Prairie Home Companion go through my head 30 seconds before you said that?
That's because it's what inspired it.
It's because we've all been doing this together too long. Yeah. We all know each other too well at this point.
But yeah, it was and it's her interaction with her daughter in that movie, Meryl Streep's character anyway. I was like, I want someone who's you can just tell from the outside cares so much, but it's she has one approach to parenting, and it's quite obvious not the one that's called for in this instance. Yeah. And so it's what would that individual look like? And then I was like, well, there's got to be more to her than this. And so I was like, okay, yeah, she's got backstory that she's walled off, because she's almost the reason it's so one note and over the top is because she's actually kind of playing a role. Is she's imagining what the ideal mother to her would have been, what she wanted when she was growing up. And so I was like who's a stereotypical almost Disney-esque imagined version of a mom. And I picked Minnesotan largely because it's there's some Viking inspiration a little bit from her past, and I was like, well, I don't want to do Norwegian because that's going to get really old. So I'm gonna do American Vikings.
The Minnesota Vikings. Yeah.
With Kieran, the whole thing about having read this book that is fiction that he thinks is real led me to. And the whole thing with Rodney, it's is he actually insane on certain levels, or is he spot on? You know, it's one of those that, and I know what I think, but I don't know if that's the answer. I have given Josh permission to make those decisions, whatever's in the best interest of the campaign or going to be the funnest choice. But the whole thing of going, okay, he's from this rich family, so he's got a very posh background, and going, okay, he's playing this role, so he's putting on a voice. So like talking with Dottie and the accent slipping at times of you know, he's actually very up in here. And so he's done the opposite of that. And like I said, the tone quality is Sean Pertwee for me.
Yeah.
But it's Kieran trying to sound like one of the soldiers, you know, versus what he actually sounds like. So
Can I say something that's not like exactly, it's just a comment on, can I piggyback off of that?
Yeah.
No. It is remarkable how many of these characters, and I know Josh has said this before, but like we didn't talk while making these characters, and yet like all of us have hit on the same theme or a similar theme with at least part of our characters, where it's like putting on like the mask, trying to be someone, trying to like fit this role that you've like self-imposed.
Yeah.
It's very interesting that like you guys back to back talked about that in different ways.
Yeah. And like we didn't plan that. Like that's just like you guys as a whole created characters that have that as a core background component, which is fantastic. Yeah.
Not me, though. I'm perfect.
Who could have imagined a
God's
group of theater and
favorite.
actor people would have centered their characters around pretending to be someone that they're not?
Persona.
and having parent issues.
Yeah.
I
uncharted territory
Yeah.
for people in our profession.
Well, it's funny because like Inducite isn't as much a voice as much as he is like a style of talking. So he's it's funny too because I have to be like a lot more deliberate with what I say as him because it takes longer for him to talk. So he has to like really think about what he's saying, and it takes a long amount of time for him to talk, where I'm like a normally like very fast talker. And Jury was too. So it's very, very different.
There have been some delightful, awkward moments with Andulicite.
Yeah.
He does feel like he's buffering at points, and it's great.
It's really fun. Pace is something that I feel like you and I have both been playing with a lot in character pace, because Mar talked so fast. I talk fast as a person.
Yes.
Lucky does not.
Yes.
And it's been really interesting to play with like, why that is.
And when I was younger, I had a stutter, so I like playing with a stutter to be like normalizing that more, I think is good, because I trained it out of myself so hard because I got fucking bullied. So I think it's fun to put it on my boy and be like, this is a fine thing that no one will bully him about.
Yep.
Oh, we'll bully him, but not about that.
Not about that.
Will he know that he's
way
being
too
bullied?
much
No.
more interesting things to bully him for.
Exactly.
Ravik's southern accent.
Oh, for Ravik, I always wanted him to be very like opposite from Abel, because Abel was more like straight laced, and I'm, I have a goal to fulfill, and I have to make sure that I don't let people down. And his big rebellion was like just not going to the school that he was supposed to go to. But for Ravik, I just wanted him to be a man child who whored and drank and fought because it was fun, because he grew up on a ship from the time he was like 14 and grew up on a ship with like a bunch of adults who like that's what they did. And I've got like the southern accent thing from a character that Nathan Fillion, who played he's Mal on Firefly, and
one of my favorite actors. Oh,
yes,
incredible.
one of my favorite roles
in one of his best roles.
Yeah. One of my favorite roles when he was Caleb in Buffy, but he wasn't a happy-go-lucky guy. He was very problematic, but a very good character. But I got it from he voiced like the vigilante on the animated Justice League show, and he was the voice of like Green Lantern and some of the DC animated movies, and I just like his like happy-go-lucky, like I'm just doing my thing, and I thought
that makes so much sense now that you say that. Oh, I can't believe I didn't clock that.
Well, it's also very fun because when you talk seriously as this character, it is very jarring, and I think that really works to what you like said about this character, like when he does get serious, it's like it's really interesting to see him have to do that. It feels very tonally different.
Yeah. He's very much just like a man child, but
no.
And he'll admit, like, I'm here for a good time, not for a long time. But he does sometimes feel those obligations. It's kind of like I was saying with the Andula set, like, they'll kind of like jab at each other a little bit, but at the end of the day, like, he's still gonna like secretly cast mage armor on Andula's site, just like, hey, you're just looking out for your buddy. Just don't tell anyone. But he'd much rather, admit to being the fuck up than like, you actually care about these people, don't you? Just because that's not fun,
Yeah.
Emotions aren't fun things to admit to. But yeah, that's where I kind of got the voice from, the southern drawl.
All right. One more thoughtful question, and then two that are like quick go around things. So this one is, how do you think that you've changed or grown as a player since campaign 1?
Since the beginning of campaign or the end?
You can interpret that however you want. That's Brandon.
I am literally a different person from the beginning of campaign 1. So that feels pretty obvious to me.
Yeah.
How to put this? It's not that I didn't think I would trust the group or didn't trust anyone when we started, but getting to know everyone and finding those moments and clicking and knowing that you can set somebody else up. And like you said, with the switching people around, it didn't really matter who, because we all know each other and have seen the characters, and so it's I played with Atwood and Ace before, so I had some of that going in, but like in campaign 1, the Lady Haverly thing, that's the moment that clicked with me with Jace, where it's like, okay, this person can play with me, and I can set them up, and they will run with it, and they will give me something fun back. And then Ronnie, like I said, when Ronnie did the interrogation scene and it clicked for him, and just like, oh, okay, now we can play, and just seeing, I can throw you a curveball, I can throw you, a fastball down the middle for you to home run, whatever. It's gonna be something fun, and you're gonna do something even I'm not expecting, but it will be good. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
That is so sweet. You are forgetting that me, you, Ronnie, and Josh were all in a really terrible
That's true. We did play together.
I did remember that, but the bonding did not happen there. It's maybe survival.
It's one of those things.
I blocked it out of my mind.
I think that it's one of those things where I kind of know, like, oh, Rob likes to be like he likes to pull a wild card move every now and then, but I didn't really I didn't really know like you as like a long time like player.
That's fair. That's fair.
And there was a lot of circumstances in the game that made us all.
I have intentionally remembered only 2 things from that, and that was the rant that you went on about
in the game. In the one shot I ran.
Yeah, but back in that game you went on one, and then Josh doing Char. Which is where I said that.
So both of the things come from Lucky.
Come from my one shot.
Josh does a remarkable job of playing a stupid person, which is hard for smart people to do.
Josh plays an incredible himbo.
I love a himbo.
I long to see another one in this game.
Yeah. Those and the fact that it was you DMing versus
it probably made it a little better.
That's true.
Those are my two good memories from that. But
Interesting.
but that was. This is something I look forward to. It's a good break from work.
Yeah.
Well, and it also, I think it proves that, like, I talked about this at, I don't know, it came up some night on the Q&A for the show I just did, What the Constitution Means to Me. I think it was something like, what do you miss from childhood? And the first thing that came to my brain is like how easy it is to see your friends every day, because then you get to adulthood and you don't have school and you have to like carve out time for people, and if you're not actively on top of that, it's very easy to like lose touch or not see people, and it's so nice to have like the carved out deliberate time to be like, no, I get to see my friends and play pretend essentially, every week.
Yeah,
it's recess.
It is recess.
I think
I'll jump in real quick.
Go ahead. You go ahead. You go ahead. And
I don't want to forget, because I'm kind of piggyback on what Rob was saying about like from when we first started till now, especially, and now I'm still kind of like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. I'm just, all right, let's just have fun and jump in. But earlier on, I was very much still like kind of filling everyone out. I already knew all you guys, in some capacity, but it was like coming in as someone who's not really a theater person. Like I've never acted or anything like that. Like all these people have been in plays or been like around plays, so you guys are used to this thing. I'll just sit quietly and let's see what happens. And if there's a time for me to jump in and say something, I'll say something. But from just like Rob was saying, like I got a lot more comfortable over time, and like, I just thought something funny or something like interesting that could like push the story along. Let me throw it in there and see. So I got a lot more comfortable over time, just with that. Starting out of just like, and I would tell Josh like, I don't know, man, I'm just kind of along for the ride. You guys are just doing this thing. But I did get a lot more comfortable just being around you guys, and I already knew that you were good people, but just feeling more comfortable, more welcome to like join in and help progress the story. There was I have seen some growth in myself as far as that goes. I'm still not brave enough to audition for a play, but
I was about to ask.
We'll get you there, yes,
Ronnie.
Maybe we'll do some voice acting first, Ronnie. We'll get our
yes.
Hey, I've cast people who haven't auditioned for me before for parts. So next time
I think you would have to maybe kidnap Ronnie and bring him to the theater too.
I think in one of my last groups, they tried to imply that I was like spotlight hogging, which really hurt my confidence as a player and like really was like hard for me to deal with and come to terms with. And I think I think part of that made me, every time I played, I would like push back against DMs. And it was just, I had to establish boundaries with DMs. It was like this weird instinctual thing. And I think part of Dimension Door was that instinct I have, that I've been more careful about. But when you handled that so well, it gave me full faith in you as a DM. And you weren't mad at me. You were like, this is a crazy cool thing that you're doing. And so it's just the fact that you all don't think that about me, and you realize that I like to talk and I like to have those moments, and I can't put plot lines together to save the life of me. So with Jace here, it's much improved my gameplay style.
And I can't notice a clue to save my life. So that's what he's
So
you don't spotlight hog. That's great.
No, none of you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's the when it's your moment, you take it, and when it's not your moment, you support it.
Yep.
I feel like we work really well as a team together for storytelling.
The word I would use, and this is kind of like me as a player, is trust. Like, I would not pour as much effort into Bonnie's backstory if I didn't trust that nobody in this group was going to treat her as a joke, or like, and you hear about this in D&D groups, people just like someone who's like got a rogue backstory and is a dark edgelord just like stabbing someone in like the middle of the night. Not that Josh would ever let that fly at his table, but
without consequences.
At the same time, that's not something that's not a relationship or a trust you just, pull off a shelf. You have to build that. And it's cool to see that we're all kind of in a neat space where we can really exchange these ideas and be really open with these characters, knowing that nobody's gonna just like take this nice thing we made and smash it on the ground right in front of us.
Yeah. And also, as just what Ace has said, like, I love when you guys make choices that are off the wall or go in directions that I didn't anticipate.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
because we do it intentionally with each other, and we do it within bounds that we know are good.
Well, and I think something that sets us apart from some of the horror stories that I've heard about gaming parties is like, all of us are invested in the story that we're telling together. I don't think any of us are walking into this thinking like, this is my story to tell. And like, I'm the main character of this story, and so my thing has to fly. I think we're all like, we're creating this together as we go, and whatever direction that goes in is what makes it special. And I think we're all in that together, and that makes a big difference.
I think it's like being equally as excited to like get to do something yourself as to like watch your friends get to do something.
Absolutely.
It's like, oh yeah, like I love Lucky having a moment. I am equally as excited to watch any of the rest of your characters have a moment or a moment together. Like it's about having fun together versus solo.
Yep.
And Josh fosters such a good environment for it.
Yeah, the role exchange. I was excited to see what you were going to do with Kieran. It's like, because it's like, oh, what part of my backstory that I have not built is now going to be part of this? Like, that's how he got Rodney. It's this because you took the thing. And it's just like, it's something clicked for me from a choice you made that was completely appropriate for what he would have done.
That's great.
All right.
It's like there's a lot of trust between us. We're like, I come to the group like, look at this cool thing that I made, and being understanding that we're all here to have fun, and we all want to see each other have fun, and I want to see what cool things you guys came up with. And like, I'm not gonna intentionally like take that thing and smash it on the pavement. And if at any point you think that I'm being unsafe or mishandling a moment or a character or an idea that you've had, I feel like that we can give each other signals to sort of like, okay, let's kind of adjust that or back off that.
I've literally never felt that way in this game at all, which I think is like actually crazy for how many years we've played. Is that, but like, and I don't trust that like if anything were to like we'd stumble into anything accidentally, that it would be like a long-term issue beyond just being like hi,
time out,
and then like reset, move on. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So a couple rapid fires to wrap up. So first one is just favorite NPC, favorite location so far. You can just go around.
It's always going to be the Northwick Buns lady.
She's not in this campaign.
I know.
Yet.
Who do you think the captain of this ship is?
His father to trade are Zephyrsite and Northwick Buns. I have named a canon in my head that his sister, the cook, has to learn the recipe for Northwick Buns.
Yeah,
it's like
they can't steal the recipe. No.
Oh, you don't think Baron von Riften wouldn't steal the shit out of that recipe?
Well, now
like the Krabby Patty.
And I kill him for it. That's what gets me. That's the straw too far.
Well, now I'm like,
reunite the Tekken takers. We gotta get back together.
Now I'm like, how like the Kandahar base in Afghanistan had like 20-foot sea land deployable Burger
No!
Kings. Like
No!
the first
No
thing
one
that's-
knows
know
that.
the person that's gonna drop out of that airship is like a Northwick Buns like self-contained unit that's just gonna land like digging feet and like a sign pop up.
That is hilarious.
It's the most neurodivergent thing you've said in a long
I'm sorry.
time.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'll top it
No, you're
tomorrow.
Go ahead, Rob.
I'd say NPCs
Ronnie,
that I
what-
love.
Favorite
of course,
NPC,
little
favorite
Enigma.
location. Enigma.
Enigma's become a
Yay.
Yeah.
Enigma, and I have to say Rodney because I'm just the potential there. There's
Yeah,
so
oh
much
God, I
potential
can't
there.
Either way, it's,
Yeah.
Yes.
it's gonna be great.
And the moment that it is revealed, like you said, either way, the moment it's revealed, I don't know how Rovik's gonna react, but I'm ready to see it.
I want him to win a race so bad, like that episode of SpongeBob. And, like, yeah, geez, favorite NPC. I gotta go with the Prince of Frost, just because it makes so sense for a member of the Sealy Court to really be the mustache twirling like evil villain that like would be cartoony in any other context, but it's like man's just been doing this forever and is kind of clearly having such a good time with it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's in this campaign so far, he's my favorite. Really loved the first dungeon we went into under the mountain when we were helping out the giant.
Yeah, the mausoleum.
The mausoleum was pretty cool. I really enjoyed that.
I like I like Weller because I really like a pathetic man that we all get to dunk on. I enjoy that so much. So I like
For
Weller
him
a
to have
lot.
like a rescue the whole party moment, and where we have to show him some respect.
That or he like dies tragically and we're all like, my God, we never saw him for the man he was.
Weller is like Gleer to me.
Oh, he is very Gleer. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if Gleer was an asshole, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, but the character that exists to get dunked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love that. I love how I love how in our session 0 we all immediately hated him, and then without saying a word to Robert Atwood, they also immediately got the vibe and hated him. It was just really fun. And then my favorite place was, I mean, it's like the most recent on my brain, but Indira's Palace is so cool.
I love it.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to see what that becomes when like more settlement is completed.
Yeah.
When the school is up and running.
Yeah.
She's also like a custom subclass. She's a crystalline school of crystal, which is
So cool.
yeah. So
That's cool.
her magic is all glass, which you see with all of the way things are put together.
That's so cool.
Favorite NPC is
Yep.
Dottie.
Love Dottie.
Yay! I love Dottie. Thank you.
Dottie was a close second for
Yeah.
me. Like,
Yeah,
Aw.
Dottie is just some of the observations that Dottie has made, and then kept to Dottie's self.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like
It's very fun.
it's kind of like there's this little person looking over the shoulder. It's just like, huh? Oh yeah, I forgot they were there. I didn't.
Dottie's there the
It really
whole
is the,
time.
like, the who's taking care of who's like kind of situation, which
Yeah.
I love a lot.
Yeah. What's your favorite place? Did you say that?
I didn't. I guess it would be the maze.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because there were
Very
Maze was
because
sick.
each section was so different and complex, but was puzzle based and not your traditional puzzle way. If that makes sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So like having to figure out what flower is in this thing without stepping on the trap, while aging exponentially. How do we? We had multiple things to maneuver then, and fortunately, thanks to Andulasite's manufacturing of the broom,
Yeah.
we were able to pull it off. But if we hadn't, that would have been interesting.
Yeah.
It was interesting the way it was, but it was one of those. It's like it reminds me of. I've been watching a lot of Dimension 20, but like when Brennan will set up stuff where this could fail.
Yeah.
This could easily TPK. This could go off the rails. I just watched Sleeping City season 2, and
Yay.
when Iga gets pulled into the dimension,
Sleeping City, so good.
Gets pulled into this other dimension. It's like, and they're gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately there were stand-ins, so Siobhan was able to keep playing, but it was one of those, it's like, no, there is no, I'll fudge the roll to keep this from happening. It's no, gone.
Yeah, I had whole mechanics for what aging a certain amount of time would do to your character beyond death, right? And then the closest we came to our arc 1 ending in a very different way was if you had severed all 3 tethers in the time slip, you would have been lost in time. And so conceivably, with Tuthalimus's help, the whole party could have then gone into the time stream, and arc 2 would have looked very different because it would have been rescuing somebody from that point. Yeah.
Scary.
And I probably would have asked that person if they would like to play one of the NPCs or, as like until they were saved.
Cool.
Yeah.
I pick Indira. So my favorite, I also like Weller. I'm kind of, shipping this enemies to lovers thing with him and Andula Sight and my like evil little brain.
What about Moss Boy? He's right there.
Felinour is there.
NPC, that's what I'm saying. Wait. I was getting to it.
Speaking of himbos.
I was about to say, my 2 suitors for Andula Sight. One who he hates, one who I love.
Yeah.
So we have Felinour, who I wanted so badly in the first game and couldn't have because I had too many boyfriends.
You were collecting too many boyfriends.
I wanted him so badly.
They're human beings, not Pokemon.
Tell that to Jerry. He stumbled into them like crazy. So I'm like, maybe it'll happen. Shut the fuck up. Maybe it'll finally happen with Felinour, or so those are the 2 potentials I see on his horizon somehow. I don't know what'll happen.
You go into his Animal Crossing house and it is literally just moss, right? Like just everywhere. Yeah.
Does not mind that.
All right.
And then my favorite place was the Leonin Village.
I love the Leonin Village. Yeah.
Cool. And the fight was so fun.
Yeah.
And I love
baby lion.
Yeah, everything in there was so cool.
Little lion babies, little lion cubs.
All right. Last question. If this crew ever gets to go to Anarvir and hit up the tattoo parlor, what tattoo is your character getting?
What a good question.
I have one answer that I can't say, and then the other answer would be like, probably like a wisdom-based thing. But I would say like image, like more. I think this is asking more about like image.
Yeah.
And so I would say I think Lucky would be really cool with like the kind of tattoos that don't work in real life but would work magically is like gold like finger like kind of tats and stuff like that. Maybe like a facial kind of like marking or something.
Awesome.
Pretty cool.
I love that so much.
Karen would go full back, a scene from Shinobi with like the warrior in the Japanese style, the very
Sumie,
classic.
yeah.
That'd be
line.
so cool.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Love it.
That'd be awesome.
and black and white,
Yep.
That's awesome.
or maybe some blue in there. But
Here's-
blue wouldn't work.
Can
so.
you recreate the scene from this book right here?
Yeah, exactly. It's face off at stone such and such at a crossroad. It's
Yeah, I was gonna say Rob would probably do like a full back. He's already got the arm tattoo.
His arms, yeah. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
She's got like the sleeve. I'm surprised Ravik doesn't have like neck tattoos.
Ooh, neck tattoos. He looks
He
good.
like a big back piece. I would be kind of cliche. All I can think of is like sea themed or water themed, but he's kind of got that all day. every
What
day.
is his tramp stamp? That's what I want to know.
It's probably like an electric eel or something.
It's Elvish. It's Elvish for not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time.
Okay, does Bonnie get tattoos?
Bonnie.
Question mark.
Can Bonnie get tattoos of every
Does
single
she get
child's
neck
name
tattoos?
on her back?
No,
And
okay.
they're so small.
All right, yeah. So there's two answers. The serious answer is I think something has to happen character wise before Bonnie can get a tattoo.
Sure.
The second answer is, you know, the stick figure families on the back of like cars.
Just row after row after row.
Bonnie and Harold
Like,
and
you know
31 children.
You know how moms get like birth flower tattoos? I feel like it's just like all flower, like every single flower. I don't know if Andrews like can physically get tattoos.
Because it's a
Maybe
magical
Edge?
tattoo. He
Edge?
can.
He's a
Mhm.
robot. I think if he were to get a tattoo, he'd get like a fishing lore, because the only thing he remembers from the only thing he's been told about his previous life so far is that they were fisher
Yeah.
people. So I think that's what he would get. Very different from Jury.
So, quick side: does this mean all of the Light Forge are just like souls pulled in from?
Yep. Because when the subversion happened and the Shadowfell was corrupted, it prevented the dead from going to beyond. So all the Light Forged are created from wandering souls that were stuck in the material plane because of the subversion. That's been fixed now, and so some of those souls are finding their way slowly. So eventually they might run out of souls for the Light Forged, but or at least wandering souls. They could find willing people to donate their souls to the Light Forged. But yeah,
That's interesting.
hmm that groundwork was laid a little bit with the dragon that was trapped in that device, and that device was like the core component for developing the Light Forged. So
So it means we could have put Amanira's different personalities in.
I can't wait to see
Indira's, yeah, Indira, yeah. But Amanira is.
I thought of a question.
Okay, also, let me say one thing really quick, is as soon
Go
as
ahead.
you did that reveal, Jace messaged me in all caps and it said Mama Nira. And it almost
I really
made
like that.
almost took me out of the
Mama
moment. It
Nira.
was so funny.
Mama
It's the
Nira,
funniest
that's
shit I've ever
perfect.
That.
seen.
Yeah.
God, I'm so funny.
Go ahead, Roddy. That got
Oh yeah,
me
Roddy, what's
so
your question?
bad.
Yeah.
I have a question. So if our characters were to split their like main character traits, like Indira, like what would those character traits end up being? Like what would your personalities or main
We
character?
do like main 3.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Who
That's
wants
tough.
to- Maybe it's a
Romantic,
question.
insecure, and hopeful. I think would be his 3.
Nice.
Oh, I could.
They're romantic. In both senses, like
Yeah.
romanticizes a lot of things.
Yeah. Just how you like sort of idolize certain people, or
Yes, and he
I can
loves
see that.
romance. He talks about it a lot,
Mhm.
actually.
He sees it everywhere.
I know he does, even where it's not at all.
One of Kieran's would definitely be purpose.
Mm.
Independence. And I don't know what a third one would be.
There's that line from, I think it's season 13 or 14 of Doctor Who, where they say demons run when a good man goes to war.
Yep.
And I'm like, if we did this, there would be like a not insignificant boss fight from whatever the third like Bonnie one is that isn't like love and compassion.
Yeah, the third one is like need for therapy.
Like there's something else there that's like balanced by the other two, like and kept in check. And I'm like, we really don't want to like let that thing out on its own. I don't know what it is. I don't want to find out either.
Yeah.
Pain would be probably a big one.
I'm thinking like if Ravik had to name his own, they'd be like
Lust. Lucky.
Yeah.
What are your 3 favorite sins?
The 7 deadly Raviks.
Oh, passion's good.
This is seduction. He will seduce you. Like, yeah. Stamina. Virility. Like,
Good God.
all ones are like, God, we want to stay away from every aspect.
We need to put Ravik back together immediately.
But then there'd also be like whimsy, and he's a man child.
Ravik Barry White collection.
I feel like
Say what?
I feel like
Barry
Ravik
White
might
connection.
Ravik
like,
Barry White collection.
Yeah.
he might have
Barry White.
like worthiness. I feel like
Oh
is
yeah.
something he struggles with.
That'd be mixed in there. Yeah. What about Lucky?
Me.
Lucky.
I would say. I mean, it really is like faithful, probably willful, and there's a certain thing I want to get at, but it hasn't been explored a ton. But I would say probably like detached a little bit.
Yeah.
Love that.
Lucky's detachment.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel bad because sometimes in conversations, this character goes really quiet. And I wanted to use that because, like, Mar, for being an introvert, ended up talking a lot, right? Because that's what happens when you make a person who doesn't want to talk. They overcompensate. And she ended up taking like the lot of like conversations, and I wanted to have a character that like was charismatic, like has a good charisma score, but is backseating group conversations quite a great deal. So if it ever looks like I'm dissociating conversations, possibly, but
my favorite
Lucky
part
might be too.
But my favorite part about Lucky is Lucky will be out of the conversation until you hit that one key word.
Yeah.
That one thing Lucky's like, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I'm actually in this conversation now, and I've been listening the whole time.
I am
funny.
listening. It's just a matter of like how invested is Lucky in this conversation right now.
Well, we've got a whole continent to explore and new backstories and problems to face in the future. I'm looking forward to Arc 2 as we take a little brief interlude over to Anarvir and see what's been going on over there before we come back for Arc 2. So I'm excited to play.
Yay, me too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh, for this beautiful world.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you all.
Love you.
Yeah.
For
love
DMing
you
and
all.
all the behind the scenes stuff. Like,
Yes.
all the other additional stuff you do. It's incredible.
Oh, no, I enjoy every moment. Getting to design a game for people that you like playing with, that's all you can ask for. So, yeah.
Amazing.
All right. But we'll see you all next
right.
week. See you then.
I love you guys. Bye.
Love you all.
Bye.
Bye.